Thank you, Kevin. That was beautiful. And so was that. Welcome back from your meditation. If you'll, right now in the sanctuary here is our meet and greet time, so everybody's getting their coffee and coming in. So you at home, take some time, get a beverage of your choice, maybe a snack, settle down, and at 10:30 we will start our service. So we'll see you then.
Well, you place the flowers in the vase that you bought today, staring at the fire for hours and hours while I listen to you play your love song all night long for me, only for me. Come to me now and rest your head for just 5 minutes. Everything is done. Such a cozy room, such a cozy. The windows are illuminated by the evening sunshine through them. Fiery gems for you, only for you. Our house is a very, very, very fine house with 2 cats in the yard. Life used to be so hard. Now everything is easy 'cause of you. And our la 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 la. Is a very, very, very fine house with 2 cats in the yard. Life used to be so hard. Now everything is easy 'cause of you. And now I light the fire while you place the flowers in the vase that you bought today.
Nothing like a little Crosby, Stills, and Nash to start today. Good morning. My name is Sheila O'Kane, and I am the president of the Board of Trustees. And I want to welcome you to our very first hybrid service. This is going to be the wave of the future for us. And every Sunday, there'll be a different member of the board who will be up here acting as host. So that you can get a chance to kind of get to know them and see them and know who they are if you don't already. Those of you out there in cyberspace, Reverend Nan will be joining you next week in cyberspace. I suspect she's out there right now watching. And today we're going to be blessed with Reverend Julie bringing our message. So, is there anybody in here that's new? I don't think so. No? Well, welcome home, everybody. Welcome to our house. And those of you in cyberspace, welcome to our virtual house. And today is also Birthday Sunday. Anybody in here have a birthday? Florence! Yay! And I see Tommy and Julie and, no. Bill Mock. I see Bill Mock out there. So how about a little happy birthday action?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy
And I'm told that there's birthday cake, right? Not only birthday cake, but apparently some of the desserts that were made last night were too big for the table. So there's a lot of those left over that'll be putting out. So you're going to have your choice of goodies today. And next we have our announcements, and Donna's going to give us our announcements.
Good morning, everybody. I think people feel like I do this morning after that long evening. We're not quite here today. At least that's the way I am. I thought I'd show you some of what's been going on here recently. So, Reverend Ann, Hoku, Janice, and John Lehman did get to Florida, as you can see in this slide. Yes, very exciting. They had a 3 or 4 day travel across, and 5 day? Did it take 5 days?
5 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Janice and John were supposed to be back today, but they got stuck in Denver last night, so they're not back yet either. Oh, they're on the plane now. Okay, Karen says they're on their way, so they'll be back today. And then after that, on Friday, we had our first, we had our new art show. So, and we, as we always do, we wrap more cranes. We have like 30 more cranes to wrap. This is part of a grant we got. We got to finish them. And we're going to hang some more in the trees. Some of them are gorgeous. Maria makes incredible cranes. You have to go. I've got some of them in the back and the back kitchen. One of them looks like her rooster. That's her painting in the new show. And one of them, what's the other one look like? A flamingo, I think. Anyway, they're wonderful. We're going to hang some more in the trees, and we're going to see if they get stolen. If they don't, we'll hang more out there, and if they do, we're going to hang them in the windows, so we're getting them all. So, you know, the crane is our piece. We started last year with all these wonderful hanging behind me here, and this year we're doing wrapped cranes to put in the trees to celebrate peace. So that's what we're doing Friday, and our wonderful new art show is up, and I hope you all look at it. This is our members and friends show, and we have lots of you represented here. And then last night, we had our big Marjorie Brandon Honoree Award. And Buddy Jones was our honoree, and here he is with Rosalinda Alexander, who presented the award. She got the award last year. And that's sort of our big thing that we do every year, to give this award in honor of Marjorie Brandon, who, of course, our gallery is half named for. And at the event, we had wonderful music by Deanna, Bruce, and Joe. And if you see in this picture, you see the quilt hanging on the rail there? So Buddy brought his quilt that his grandmother made. His grandmother was born a slave. And she made this quilt top and gave it to him. And it was like 30 years later that his wife and mother and he finally quilted it. So he put it on the rail here, and he wanted everybody to come touch it, to be, I don't know, part of the family. It was wonderful. And the music was gorgeous. I just loved all the nostalgic music. And then Buddy and his wife even got up and danced. So that was fun. That was great fun. And then the last part of the evening was Buddy did a little bit of drumming with Tino. And Tino had just gotten back from a competition virtually where he had won 4th place out of 100 people in drumming. So Tino is part of our choir, and I guess he's quite a drummer too. So anyway, they were putting on a wonderful show. So now let's get to the announcements. Today we start our wreath making. So we have lots of things coming up, and today we're going to bring out the tables, and I hope a bunch of you have brought, no, Florence is looking at me like, no, she didn't bring any. But we're going to make wreaths because for our December art walk, we're going to have a little boutique here. And we found Maria has made these beautiful ornaments she's going to have in the boutique. And one of our young artists has little stickers and keychains and darling little things she's going to add. And then we're going to put these wreaths, and hopefully we'll sell them, and it'll be a wonderful fundraiser for our center. So if you didn't bring your materials today, please bring them next Sunday. We'll be doing it this Sunday and next Sunday after service, so we can have some wreaths for our boutique. And today is Explorers, so we have lots going on today. So Explorers Group has been getting into some very interesting and, I don't know, topical subjects. This time it's dominionism, theocratic movement hiding in plain sight. And all of you who are interested in that kind of thing, we explore such interesting topics in that. And Evelyn keeps us going, and Donna keeps us going, so thank you. Ray, Donna. And on November 20th, we're going to be doing a SEVA presentation. Reverend Nan and Janice will be doing it. And I got to tell you, to put on last night's show took a lot of SEVA. And SEVA is sacred service. And they're going to be talking about the difference between just volunteering and sacredly volunteering. And we're going to really need, now that we're doing this virtually, we're going to need more and more SEVA people stepping forward just to make coffee in the morning. Reverend Ann always did that. To be at the door if nobody else can be greeters at the door. So we're going to be needing lots of SEVA people, and I hope you'll stay for that after service on the 20th. And last, Hope, got to look at this, Hope. Hope's doing a new concert. She's doing a soul Christmas concert on December 10th. Again, we want to pack the house. It's going to be a wonderful concert, and we want to make some money for the center, and you know we need to make money for the center. So we'll have tickets by next week. Pick some up, sell them to your friends. It's going to be fun. Hope's going to have her choir singing a few things. We're going to do some sing-along. It's going to be just a wonderful entrance to Christmas. So start thinking about that. We want to keep going, doing all kinds of fun things here. Turn it back to Sheila.
Wait. The diversity quote.
Okay, you can announce it.
Right. Every week, our diversity and inclusivity team come up with a quote. Each member is tasked with coming up with a quote on the week that they are that's their time to do it. So this week, our inclusivity quote, I believe, was furnished by Bobby. And since I can't see it, Donna's going to read it.
So here's the quote. I'll read it, and then let's all read it together. This is by Maya Angelou. The ache for home lives in all of us, the safe place where we can go as we are and not be questioned. And as you'll find out, this month's topics is home, all about home. So let's read this with enthusiasm. The ache for home lives in all of us, the safe place where we can go as we are and not be questioned.
Yeah. It's a beautiful quote. And since Janice is somewhere in the air on her way back to Fresno, where I believe Karen's going to pick them up this afternoon and bring them home. But since Janice isn't here, I will do the weekly affirmation and the treatment. And our weekly affirmation is, I am the hero of my journey. Say it with me. I am the hero of my journey. Such wonderful words. And it's true. It's very true. So if you take a breath, settle into your chairs. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. There's one source, one life force. We call it by many names. Yahweh, El Shaddai, Allah, God, the thing itself. And I know that as surely as I stand here, I am part of that one source, that one force that moves around me, through me, lives in me, and creates as me. And as I know this for myself, I know it for each and every person here and beyond the sound of my voice. Our friends in cyberspace and those who are even just walking down the street. I know this for them, for it is truth. I speak words of love and joy and freedom in this place that we call home, our Center for Spiritual Living, Visalia, our spiritual home, the place where we gather and love each other and sing together and laugh together and dance together and sometimes even cry together. It is that special place of home. And I know that as we come together, we become stronger and stronger in this place. And I am so grateful for that. I am so, so grateful for that. And I speak blessings on each person here and on everyone who hears my voice and beyond. I speak blessings. I shower you with love and joy and peace. And I ground these words with great, great gratitude and say together, and so it is. And now we have a very special congregational song. And I know you all know this, and some of you may even know the sign language for this. So if you do, do it.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
I am so, so, so happy and pleased that our dearly beloved Reverend Julie has agreed to join us today and bring our message. Reverend Julie, are you there? There she is. Welcome, Reverend Julie.
Thank you, beloved Sheila. It is such an honor to be here with you this morning. I love this community so much. And we are kicking off a brand new month, a brand new theme, and that is Living Everyday Wonder, Home. And today's topic is There's No Place Like Home. And so what do you have in common with Harry Potter, Luke Skywalker, Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, Buddha, and Jesus? You and the rest of humanity are playing out the hero's journey, which starts and ends in this place that we call home. We begin our journey with the hero's journey as a metaphor for the human journey of psychological and spiritual growth and transformation. The great monomyth begins and ends in the place that we call home. And so this morning we discuss the journey and contemplate where we see ourselves in this process. In the Holmes Reader on Practical Wisdom, Ernest Holmes says, and it's a long one, so hang in there with me, the Spirit of God is an undivided and indivisible wholeness. It fills all time with its presence and all space with the activity of its thought. Everyone is an incarnation of God, and a unique incarnation. All are rooted in the one life. Your endeavor then is not so much to find God as it is to realize God's presence and to understand that this presence is always with you. Nothing can be nearer to you than that which is the very essence of your being. Your outward search culminates in the greatest of all discoveries, finding God at the center of your own being. Life flows up from within you. That was all from Ernest Holmes. So let's first understand where the idea of the hero's journey came from. Joseph Campbell is the leading mythology expert who could see the truth within all cultures and stories. You know, when he started studying classic mythology, he started out studying Native American mythology, and then began taking on the study of all others, all throughout the world. He compared the myths. And he recognized that out of all of them, there was only one journey taking place, the hero's journey. It was like a pattern that became very easily recognizable. It was like an algorithm: separation, initiation, and return. So the hero's journey represents the outward search to find the truth and presence that lies at the center of being. Now, we can talk about that all day long. We can read about it all day long. Yet when we truly experience it is when we fully understand and embody it. The recognition of God's presence within is the realization that unconditional love, wholeness, and oneness is our spiritual home, which we can access anywhere and anytime. According to Joseph Campbell, myths represent our collective human psyche. They illuminate universal principles and truths that apply to the entirety of the human family. The hero's journey represents the process of psychological and spiritual transformation from innocent child to mature self-actualized adult. Innocent child to mature self-actualized adult, over and over and over again. Everyone has the potential and capacity to be the hero of their life journey. Some embark on the journey with intention, others by accident. I'm thinking some of you probably know what I mean by that. Show of hands right now. Who typically embarks on their journey with intention, or who typically embarks on their journey by accident? I have to admit, you know, in my early years, I embarked on my journey a lot more by accident, but I'd like to think that in my older years, I embark on my journeys more with intention. But it's still a bit of a mixed bag for me. Joseph Campbell says the function of mythological symbols is to give you an aha. A yes, I know what it is. It's myself. Normal, protective world. We start out in a normal, protective world, and then there's a vision. There's a trial. There's tribulations. There's dragons. There's challenges. And then you find your true self. Then there becomes this sense of achievement, of accomplishment, of enlightenment. Then you have to take it back to the community. This particular journey can be seen, played out in so many different stories and movies, such as Star Wars, The Matrix, The Wizard of Oz. You are not separate from the characters that you see in all of those. According to Campbell, a hero is someone who has given their life to something bigger than oneself. The journey entails a challenging evolutionary process that serves to shape, strengthen, and prepare the individual for their life work. And my dear friends, it doesn't happen just once. It happens over and over and over again. Yet the hero's journey always begins and ends at home. The home of the person as the hero is a place of shelter and safety, while simultaneously representing repression. The metaphoric walls that protect the person also keep the hero in the making in a sheltered state. Eventually, the desire to break free from customs and rules and limiting beliefs prompts the person to set out to explore the unknown, where there is great learning and growth and evolution. In The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy left Kansas, and remember, in the end, Glinda told Dorothy that she had the power within her all along. Yet, folks, there's no way Dorothy could be aware of it enough to use it unless she went on the journey that allowed for her to realize it, to realize her own power and her own light, hence the whole purpose of the hero's journey. How many of you can recall at least one time in your life where a particular trial and tribulation led you to a greater understanding about yourself, a greater understanding about life, and the meaning of it became more for you? I'm thinking everybody's nodding their head to some extent right now. So this hero's journey, Joseph Campbell presents it to us as there are 12 steps to the journey that happen in 3 phases: departure, initiation, and return. And during the departure, the person leaves the ordinary world and sets out on their call to adventure, sets out to deal with the challenge that has presented themselves or the quest. There's generally an initial reluctance to answer the call. You've all heard about the proverbial 2x4, right? Which is typically overcome with the guidance of a mentor. During the initiation phase, the person develops strength and character through enduring trials and tests and tribulations, with usually the help of allies and friends along the way. In the final showdown, the person slays their inner dragon and is gifted with insight that transforms them into the hero, thus initiating their return home. Home. The home that's within. There's no place like home. What Dorothy was reciting, there's no place like home. The realization is that the home, the clarity, the truth of my being is right here within, at the very center of my soul. So let's do a deep dive this morning into the journey and highlight all the gifts along the way. It kind of starts out with a story I'm going to share with you about the Golden Buddha. How many of you are familiar with the story of the Golden Buddha? In 1757, the Burmese army was invading Thailand. And facing complete annihilation, the Buddhist monks at the monastery hastily began covering their large golden Buddha statue with mud so that the army wouldn't see it as anything of value. And it worked. Since the army stuck around for a really long time, a whole generation went by until no one knew that the golden Buddha had been covered up. And then one day, long in the future, a boy noticed something shiny coming through a small crack. So he chipped a little bit of the hardened mud away and revealed the true nature of the statue. Symbolically, each one of us is born a golden Buddha. Each one of us is born golden. And we tend to develop a casing of stone around us as society or our cultural norms require us to hide parts of our authentic selves. Then something comes along that knocks off a bit of our armor. You know what I mean? And once you see a glimmer of the gold, no longer will the armor satisfy you. It is a journey of life. And in this journey of life, there are clear patterns that guide us, that provide us with meaning, with the reason for existence. There's a seed of potential that wants to be actualized. So we're forced to realize that we really can be better. We really can do better as we grow in enlightenment and come to terms with ourselves. It's about how to claim our own inner resources, the ordinary moving into the extraordinary, the unsatisfied to the satisfied. The most important thing is to go beyond what we perceive is our limits. Although it is said that many are metaphorically impaired, many prefer the comfort and the automaticity of distractions and programming that come with society. Have you all heard of the quest for the Holy Grail? And then that seeking of the Holy Grail, it wasn't about seeking an actual thing. It was about coming into a greater understanding of an intangible feeling. You know, kind of like the difference between believing that you will go to heaven when you die as an actual place, or to you experiencing, building, creating heaven within yourselves right here and right now. We are the architect. We form the seed of our lives and consciousness, and the seed starts to sprout. It patterns the relationships and situations and circumstances that will show up. Joseph Campbell says, it is far better to have a story than to have an explanation. So the idea is to catch the spark of life. Don't climb a ladder against the wrong wall. There's all this pressure to keep people in their place, huh? That idea of comfort or of distraction, social media. Don't push against the norm. It's been thought that, especially in today's time with so many distractions, that we can tend to feel victimized by our environment with no time to think, no time for creativity, that ideas are imposed upon us instead of being birthed from the enlightenment within. There's a lot of shoulds and shouldn'ts and shoulds and shouldn'ts going on. We can be also entranced by instant gratification. And in all of that, we can lose contact with the mythical domain part of our soul. We can lose contact with our own unique, beautiful song. And then a hero's journey happens. And then the world that we thought was reality, we discover is really an illusion. Something chips away at our armor and reveals more of that goldenness that we are. And waking up to reality means that we're full of potential. Joseph Campbell says the call to adventure signifies that destiny has summoned the hero. It kind of starts out like the phone ringing. Kind of starts out like something's breaking in and it makes it impossible to ignore. Kind of like that proverbial 2x4 I mentioned earlier. It gets to the point where we have to answer the call. And those wake-up calls can come as sledgehammers, yet if we're paying attention, they can feel more like a feather. Hence before when I mentioned by accident or intentional, we can embark on our hero's journey. But it really, we then feel the depth of our despair. Things that we don't want to have happen catapults us. The universe upends us. There's danger. And in that danger, there's opportunity. Where we step from one world of understanding to another. Sometimes we're shoved. Joseph Campbell says, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek. What is the cave you fear to enter right now? Because the idea is to see through all the layers to the pure light and essence that you are, to that pure consciousness. We hear the call, we take on the challenges, we wake up being the hero of our life. It's where we get tired of being the victim, where we realize I have a choice and I am responsible for my own adventure. And there's got to be a metaphorical death, folks. I'm here to tell you. Something dies so something new can be born.
Joseph Campbell says we must be willing to get rid of the life we've planned so as to have the life that is waiting for us. A snake that cannot shed its skin perishes, folks. No death, no life. No death, no transformation. Death of one old form that gives rise to a new form, the intrinsic meaning, making things better. It's not what happens. It's what we do with it on the hero's journey. There's typically a forest that is unknown. It takes courage to go into the forest. A lot of times our very well-meaning loved ones, friends, family, our community questions, why do you want to go in there? Why can't you just be happy with what you have here? If you go where there's a trail, then you aren't on your path. I'm talking about following your bliss. There's this invitation on that hero's journey when you chink off the armor and you see more and experience more of the gold of the truth of within, then you start feeling and seeing more of your bliss, where you question, what am I here to do? What's my authentic journey? And your bliss is defined as the thing that you cannot not do. How many of you have felt or heard that calling, that yearning in your life? And then we think, I will listen to the call of spirit. And then it sometimes feels like beating your head against a brick wall until there's a shift and the path opens up. Joseph Campbell says the universe will open doors where there were only walls. And we are each our own great inhibitors. Those dragons that we slay on the hero's journey, those dragons are covered in scales that typically say, thou shalt or thou shalt not. What will they think of me? Must be put aside for bliss. Joseph Campbell found that the one thing keeping people from their mountaintop, the dragon, is the fears. Fears unfaced become toxic. You become scared. The hero's journey requires us to find the courage to move forward despite how we feel. And when you consistently take a step past your fears, you expand your circle of comfort. When you get closer to your fears, you will see your fear. You'll see where it lacks depth. Joseph Campbell says opportunities to find deeper powers within ourselves come when life seems most challenging. And our antagonists, when I said that we tend to create our own antagonists, we project those. We project and create our antagonists, which is really coming from within. Deepak Chopra says every time you are tempted to react in the same old way, ask if you want to be a prisoner of the past or a pioneer of the future. It's those projections of our antagonists, cognitive dissonance. You have to stop fighting. We have to stop fighting, folks. We got to stop fighting that call to our bliss, that call to the hero's journey. It's really more about surrender. And then when that happens, the invitation, the idea is we come to a place where we learn to love our dragon. We end up having to slay our dragon. We slay them by loving them because there's always a gift. When we face our fears and become more, there's always that gift of stepping more into love, experiencing and expressing more love. Think of the adventure, the journey that Dorothy went on in The Wizard of Oz. And then with those trials and tribulations, it's said that every minus is half a plus awaiting a vertical awareness. Every minus is half a plus awaiting vertical awareness. The ultimate end is giving back. So how do you see the hero's journey playing out in your life? The person who returns home is not the same person who left. The hero now has a new insight and understanding that transformed them from where they began. to a much more self-actualized person who uses their gifts to serve a greater cause. That greater cause could be humanity, nature, life itself. The hero comes into full spiritual maturity by rising above to do the work of the higher self. I mean, honestly, folks, how many of us would be about doing the work of the higher self if we hadn't actually gone through a hero's journey first that caused us to find that strength and courage and an enlightenment from within, that caused us to recognize the divinity that's within? The hero's journey is everyone's journey. So let's consider your life in the context of the hero's journey. In what phase do you see yourself right now? Are you still in your safety zone, afraid to venture out, while feeling the push and the pull to be more? Are you experiencing some trials and tribulations? Is there some fiery flames of a dragon of initiation going on in your life? Perhaps you've been intentional about your spiritual journey and you feel confident that you have already slain your dragon. Are you living your transcendent purpose? How are you showing up as an ally or a mentor for others on their journey? The hero's journey is ongoing. And as the questions pointed out, we can find ourselves at various different stages of that journey at any moment. So as you explore this inquiry, think about your next possible steps. What might help guide you to the next level of your growth and evolution? As it was shared earlier in the service today, our affirmation is, I am the hero of my journey. So let's all say that together. I am the hero of my journey. And I am here to recognize and remind us that we all have the gold within us. And we're all at some stage of chinking off any of our armor to expose and to reveal more of that gold, more of that light of the divine that's within each one of us. You're powerful and you're courageous and you're beautiful and you already have everything that you need within yourself to go home. So I am here to welcome you home and to tell you how much you are loved. And so it is. Thank you.
All right, we've got a special song for you, talking about home. Gotta get home, there's a garden to tend. There's fruit on the ground and the birds have all moved back into my attic. Whistling static and the young fly and they patch up the holes again. Again. Can't believe that my lime tree is dead. I thought it was sleeping, I guess it got fed up with not being fed. would be to keep food in my belly and hope that my time isn't soon. And so I try to understand what I can hold in my hand, and whatever I find, I'll find my way back to you. And if you try to find it too, 'cause this place is overgrown into a waxen mood. Home is wherever we are, if there's love there too. In the back of our house there's a trail that won't end. We were walking so far that it grew back again. Now there's no trail at all, only grass growing tall. Get out my machete and battle with time once again. But I'm about to lose, 'cause I'll be damned if time won't win. I gotta get home, there's a garden to tend. All the seeds from the fruit buried and began their own family truths. Teach them thank you and please as they spread their roots. They watch the young fruit grow again. And this old trail will lead me right back to where it began. So I try to understand what I can hold in my hand, and whatever I find, I'll find my way back to you. And if you could try to find it too, 'cause this place is overgrown into a waxen mood. Home is wherever you are, that there's love there too. Home is wherever we are, if there's love there too. Home is wherever we are, if there's love there too.
You know, we are so blessed to have this wonderful group of people who provide us with music every single Sunday, and it doesn't come easy. There's a lot of coordination that goes into this. So really, if you have a chance, come up and let them know how much you appreciate them. Now for our prosperity affirmation. Do we have it up there yet? There we go. Say it with me. My journey always includes prosperity, and I share it with love as I travel my paths. Say it again. My journey always includes prosperity, and I share it with love as I travel my path. Now is the time that we take up our offering. For those of you who are out there on cyberspace, you can go to our website, cslvisalia.org, and push the donate button, and you can donate that way. Or if you're old-fashioned, like some of us are, you can just write a check and send it to the center. The address is there on the website. And we are so blessed to have everybody that donates. Really, that's what keeps the band going, that keeps us in business, basically, keeps the lights on. And we have heat again, so it keeps the heat going. And I receive these gifts with great, great gratitude, and I bless the gift and the giver. And I know that these gifts are used to further the message that there is home here. There is a place here for each and every one of us. And it furthers the work that we do. And I am so grateful for it. And so it is. Now we come to that time in our service where we gather around for the peace song. As long as I can make it off without... Now there is peace on earth. I know it begins with me. Now there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator, united all are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, this begins with me, and this is my home. And now, with every breath I take, this is my joyous sound. Take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Now there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me. I'm not going to attempt to do Reverend Nan's.
Come on.
But repeat after me, and it's going to be very short. I'll warn you. Repeat after me. I am a hero.
I am a hero.
And so it is.
And so it is. All right.